Hello everyone. In my last video, I showed you guys how difficult it is for a Wuhanese to get into hospital now, in the middle of the coronavirus outbreak. This is mainly because there's simply too many people infected, and the medical resources in Wuhan, the hospitals, the staff, they couldn't cope with the situation. That is why the government made it so difficult for a patient to be diagnosed or to be treated, to have a bed in the hospital. One good question is, how many exactly are infected by now? The official number by the government is country-wise. It's 16,000 confirmed cases. It's 20,000 suspected cases. But remember first that this is the official number by the government. Second, in my video yesterday, I talked about how difficult it was to get confirmed or even to be put into the suspected cases pool. Basically, most of the people who have the symptoms, they are not counted as a number, which means now probably 100,000 is an underestimate. Remember that most of these patients are based in Wuhan or in Hubei province, which makes the situation in Wuhan especially hard. There's a huge gap between what the medical resources can accommodate and what the number of the patients, what they need. The desperation are from both sides. On the one side, the patients are lining up forever before they can get diagnosed or get a bed in a hospital. On the other side, the medical workers are working day and night, sometimes without properly protected, because there's a shortage of the protective clothing and face masks. So they're basically risking their lives to save lives. It's especially unfair for them. I've heard a lot of stories of medical workers getting infected themselves. I feel really bad for them. There's an article talking about how the medical workers, they have to treat the dead bodies before they can send them to the crematorium. This doctor called Wang Yang, from 7 p.m. until the next day at 8 a.m. She said their hospital accepted over 200 patients who need further investigation. She said the whole emergency room was filled with people. There's no bed, no devices. Everywhere was polluted zone. There's no clean zone. But for each medical worker, we only have one protective clothing. We can't go for meals. We can't go to the toilet. If we go, we have to get into the clean zone. But everyone only have one protective clothing. If we take it off, it's gone. On that night, she realized herself having headache. She thought it was just she was just being too busy. But the next day, she was it was confirmed that she has some lung infection. By January the 30th, she had been isolating herself at home for 7 days, but she was still having fever. According to Wang, every department in her hospital has medical workers who was infected by the patients. But she said that was not the most difficult thing. The most difficult challenge for the medical workers is that they have to deal with the bodies themselves. She said in the past, after someone died, it's just we just hand it over to the people in the crematorium. Within 2 hours, they will come and take the body away. But nowadays, they're requiring us to process the body before they take it away. We have to sterilize the corpse. We have to use a cloth soaked with alcohol to rub the dead body's mouth, ears as tactical. Then we cover it with 2 layers of shroud. Then we put it in 2 layers of the bags before we notify the crematorium. But she said there is simply too many people. In one day, there could be several people passing away. There's not enough personnel in the crematorium, so they just take the body away in one time slot. Sometimes the body could remain in the hospital for more than 20 hours. Wang said, honestly, it was very difficult for the medical workers. Sometimes even those patients, their family members was not willing to help with dealing with their body. Some of my colleagues was breaking down because of this. I'll show you several footages related to the dead bodies. If you're not feeling comfortable seeing them, then please leave now. This video was taken opposite to the blog you're looking at now. Later you will see several people taking one body out. This guy who is taking the video, he is saying that this is the second body that he see taken out of this block. You see the yellow bag they're using that's specifically for covering the bodies. People died of coronavirus have to be properly sanitized before they're taken to the crematorium. Okay, the next video I'm going to show you is a guy who is counting the number of these yellow bags on the car from the crematorium. They were parking in the backyard of the hospital. Let's see it. This is the backyard of the hospital. This car is for the crematorium. He is approaching. He is counting the bags on the car. He counted 8. So basically 8 bags on the car, which means 8 people are waiting to be carried away. Please note that this is only one hospital in Wuhan for one day. That's 8 bodies being taken away. If you consider now, Wuhan has at least 24 hospitals accepting the coronavirus patients. You can get a rough estimate of how many people are dying today, and these are only from the hospital. As I told you, many people die without being able to be admitted into the hospital, so that's really only part of the death. In the next footage, I'll show you someone took it in the backyard of the crematorium. All the bins were filled with the bags covering the bodies. Okay, this is a video. You see the familiar yellow bags, and these are all the big size bins, 10 of them. Now I'm showing you an image. This is someone shared these texts in their social media. He was a witness. He said, this is a busy road. In the past, this was supposed to be a busy road in Wuhan. But now, besides me, there is only an old man walking on the street. You can't see a third man. Just it was just now at 5:30 p.m. Someone jumped from the bridge. Before he jumped, he was crying all the way. He was desperate. He was saying that he was infected with the virus. He couldn't stay at home. He was afraid he would pass the virus to his family, his child. There's no bed in the hospital. He was renting a place outside. He wants to go to the hospital. He wants a bed. He wants to be saved, but he had to walk really far, and there's no public transport. He's very weak now. He doesn't know where to go, and he doesn't have anything to eat now. So he decided to kill himself. This witness, he or she was about to call the police, but the police already came. Before this, these are the image he shared about that person jumped from the bridge. Before he left, what the police was telling him again and again was, don't post this online. Don't post this online. He didn't know what to say.